Hey, howdy do. I'm back with another drawing video, and this is probably the first traditional one in a good while. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that, the main one being I don't actually have a setup for it, and yeah, that was fun, and that was a thing to get sorted out. Long story short, I finally got a setup done, and then the other second reason was I didn't really have a whole lot of a reason to be doing traditional art, because I've been doing a lot of print stuff for digital lately, but you know, when it comes to traditional art, I'm like, I like it, I just don't like how long it tends to take sometimes, because when you work with, you know, colored pencils, if you want to have all of that blendy, it takes forever, and if you want to work with watercolor, then I use so many layers that it usually ends up destroying paper, so it's usually not a very time efficient method. And I was thinking to myself, I would probably do more traditional videos if I had something like markers, you know, something that you can still get coloring done and it can be relatively fast. It's just the only issue is I didn't really have any, or a lot for that matter. But thanks to two friends of mine, we have Sue and we have Miki. Pretty much they both just decided to bombard me with markers. They're just like, hey, you want like 100 markers? And I was like, oh, okay. So that was in Sue's case. And then in the Mickey case, she's like, hey, you want like 100 markers? I was like, where are y'all just getting these? And why are you okay with giving these things away? Anyway, long story short, they actually ended up giving me a bunch of markers each. And I was just like, well, damn, I went from, I think, having like 10-20 markers to having like almost 200. So I was like, well, shoot, now I don't have a reason not to use them. And I wanted to thank them by doing something nice, so I made a drawing for Sue using the markers that she sent me, and then I made a drawing for Miki using markers that she sent me. So with the Sue one, I wish I would have had that recorded, but like I said, the having a traditional art setup wasn't a thing that I had until recently. So I got that figured out, and that was fun to do. But you know, the only final problem that I ran into was I actually don't know how to blend. You know, markers aren't just a thing that you pick up and you're like, yeah, I know how to use them now. That's not the case for me, at least. So I tried to figure out how to use them in this drawing, so I like how it turned out, but there is also definitely a case of like, I really wish I knew how to use these, because the drawing would have probably turned out better if I did. But I found out at the very end when I was working on the background how to blend. So, you know, if there's two choices between working on a background and working on a character for when you should learn how to blend, I picked the wrong one. But I still like how this turned out. I actually took this drawing, put it into Photoshop, and did like a pre-viz on it, so I got all the shading and coloring and stuff figured out digitally first, and I was like, okay, let's do that and figure that out, and then I'll just try to replicate what I did in Photoshop traditionally. So, you know, it's nice. It kind of takes some of the pressure off of winging it, and you're just like, all right, let's wing it and ruin this drawing. I was like, okay, I more or less have an idea of how to do what I want to do. I just don't know how to do it, but you know, we'll figure it out. So I did that, and I do actually like how this drawing turned out. I asked Miki what she wanted me to draw for her, and she's like, Ryuko from Kill la Kill, and I was like, okay. So that's me working on this. Then you see I have a bunch of rulers here just because I'm actually putting in the background. Backgrounds for me kind of depends. Sometimes I'll sketch the character in with the background. In this case, I sketched the character first and then colored them. See, you know, I was like, if I don't ruin the drawing by then I'll add the background, but until that point I won't worry about it. And then I got to the point where I was done coloring the character, and I was like, okay, you know what, like, yeah, we can add a background, why not? And it's actually fun because I feel like I haven't done something like this in a while, and you know, I'm so out of touch with traditional speed paints that I'm like, where's the weird zooming in and out that you usually get with digital, you know? So I think it's weird that you can just see the drawing the whole time and it doesn't pan or zoom or move around really. And I'm like, that's neat. But anyway, good news is I have markers now. So thank you, Miki, and thank you, Sue, a lot for these. I promise I'll make you proud and that these won't go to waste. And speaking of which, now that I actually have a viable means of finishing traditional drawings in a timely fashion, I can actually start taking commissions again. So I don't know if you guys have already seen the posts about them, But I am actually doing art commissions again, whether it's traditional for stuff like this or digital cell shaded or painterly. I do actually have those available. I figured it'd give me a good chance to actually practice using the markers and make sure I use them, because I feel bad when I get a gift from somebody. I'm like, I must maximize the usefulness of this gift. I would feel bad if they were just sitting around and I'm like, okay. So I drew a thing for Sue and I drew a thing for Miki just to get started and learn how to paint. But if you're actually interested in a commission, I will leave the details for that in the description. And thank you again, Miki and Sue. And I promise I'll figure out how to actually use these things at some point. But for everybody else, I hope you guys enjoyed the drawing. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit different because I haven't made a traditional speed paint in a while, but it's a good different, you know? It adds variety. But anyway, I'll link the final drawing at the end. Hope y'all like it, and I will see you later. Bye!